Dear members of PEN International, first of all, I would like to express how happy I am to be talking on behalf of PEN Greece about a project very close to my heart, the project Know Her Words. Thanks so much for the invitation. Let me start with an introduction of the project Know Her Words. Know Her Words is a project of PEN International's Women Writers Committee that aims to highlight the best women's writing around the world and to compile a canon of women's works that will promote the cultural value of literature, the exchange of ideas and values, the thematic exploration and expansion of attitudes and culture in general, the literary conversation of peoples through women's writings and sensibilities. In this context of intercultural cooperation between peoples, the PEN centers that make up the vast PEN International Literary Network were invited to select and formulate a list which will be regularly renewed and gradually enriched of the 10 best works by women writers and send it to the PEN International Women Writers Committee. According to the instructions of PEN International, the list may consist of any books in any genre without necessarily including books written exclusively by women members of PEN Greece. The board of PEN Greece decided to participate in this project in collaboration with the Women Writers Committee of the Center. In order to ensure the impartial and objective selection of the 10 best works, it was decided to entrust a 3-member committee to conduct this process by appointing its members as follows: Sotiria Georganti, myself, as president of the committee, and members Manolis Piblis and Katerina Frag. The board of PEN Greece expresses its sincere thanks to the committee for its willingness to participate in the Know Her Words project and for the smooth and uninterrupted cooperation of its members. Now some words about the members of the committee. Sotiria Georganti, I am the chair of the Women Writers Committee of PEN Greece and president of the committee. I have studied law and English literature. I write essays and literary reviews while also taking interviews from prominent Greek writers. Manolis Piblis is a journalist with a focus on books and has worked in various positions in newspapers and on television. He has translated 12 literary books from French to Greek. Katerina Frag is a literary agent representing foreign publishers and authors in Greece and Greek authors internationally. She studied French letters in Athens and comparative literature in France, and she translates from French to Greek. She has also edited collections of short stories. Now let me present our committee's criteria and reasoning. The selection of the 10 best books by Greek women authors without any restriction on the time of publication or the genre was a challenge for the committee, as the Greek publishing production is adorned by quite a few works by women authors that are worthy to be praised for their fiction, aesthetics, style, but also their technique. However, the landscape became clearer and the targeting more straightforward once the criteria were specified, as a result of the dialogue between the committee members. 1. Books were proposed by both debutants in Greek literature and those with more than one literary work to their credit, who are alive and have an active presence in the field. 2. The selected books are not only books that have already been translated. On the contrary, the opportunity was taken to recommend books that deserve to be introduced to a wider and even global readership. 3. The 10 books recommended represent as wide a range of genres as possible, including novel, short story, poetry, children's literature, and essay. 4. In this phase of the selection, which will not be done once, emphasis was placed on books by authors of relatively younger ages and on books that, even if this was not a requirement, have relevance to the general aims of PEN, especially in the field of freedom of speech and promoting issues related to the position of women in today's societies. Keeping in mind the above criteria, the following books were recommended and are listed by genre and in alphabetical order of the authors. In the category of fiction, prose, One What Lot's Wife Saw, Τι είδε η γυναίκα του Lot, by Ioanna Bourazopoulou, for the ingenuity in conceiving and masterfully building an entire universe befitting a nightmarish dystopia. 2. The Things That Virgin Mary Thinks About While She Secretly Smokes in the Bathroom, πράγματα που σκέφτεται η Παρθένος Μαρία καπνίζοντας κρυφά στο μπάνιο, by Alexandra K, for the multi-prismatic feminine universe she creates. 3. The Insect Alphabet, Alphabetari Endomon, by Dimitra Kolliakou, for the interplay between allegory and everyday life through the symbols she employs. 4. Beast-like, Theriomorphy by Elena Maroutsou, for the daring exploration of the beastly side hidden within human nature. 5. Dendrites by Kalia Papadaki, for the bitter refutation of the American dream. 6. The End of Hunger, Το τέλος της πείνας, by Lina Roku, for the lyricism and plasticity of the narrative. In the category of fiction poetry, 7. Dino, Dices in the Air, Dino με τα ζάρια στον αέρα, by Konstantina Korifadi, for the inventive exploration of the concepts of climbing and falling. 8. Stories from All Around My World, Ιστορίες από όλο τον κόσμο μου, by Pavlina Marvin, for the scope of the world she describes, as well as the expressive means through which she outlines it. 9. In the category of fiction, children's books, The Closet, η Ντουλάπα, by Sotiria Georganti, illustrated by Jacqueline Polenakis, for the way it deals with internal conflicts regarding gender identities in childhood. Finally, in the category of essay, 10. Fastanelis and Klamis, Historical Memory and National Identity in Greece, 1821 to 1930, Φουστανέλης και Κλαμίδες, Ιστορική Μνήμη και Εθνική Ταυτότητα, 1821-1930, by Christina Koulouri, for the historical research on the formation of the Greek national consciousness. It is noted that these 10 books were only the beginning, since we aim for this list to be enriched and updated regularly. This project was embraced by writers and readers alike. We had the pleasure to have a booklet by the name of Know Her Words, Volume 1, published by Angela X Editions, about the project, featuring information on the selected books and authors. This booklet is currently traveling the world in book fairs such as the London Book Fair 2024, the Bologna Children's Book Fair 2024, Festival du Livre de Paris 2024, Liber 2024 in Barcelona, Frankfurter Buchmesse 2024, Sharjah International Book Fair 2024, FIL Guadalajara 2024. Moreover, the booklet was presented at the Thessaloniki International Book Fair 2024 to the wider audience. Closing this presentation, I would like to announce that the board of PEN Greece has decided to proceed to the selection of books which will constitute Know Her Words Volume 2, so that the project takes root and the books by Greek women writers reach readers all around the world. Thanks so much for your time and attention.